Worship. And McCollum v. Board of Education, way back in 1948, found that religious instruction in public school to be a violation of the Establishment Clause and therefore unconstitutional. Now, we're here today to discuss how these laws affect our community. Now, the state has already made its position abundantly clear. But today, we're going to hear from the people.
I choose worship. 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 I choose worship.
I choose to worship him. 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 Who are you to tell me that I can't dance, that I can't shout? There's no need to worry. The world system will work it out, but I got a reason to praise him. And I got a reason to praise him. Who are you to tell me walk in fear? Well, I'm protected by the source that lives within, but I got a reason to praise him. I choose to worship him. And I got a reason to praise him. I choose to worship him. Well, I choose to follow the Father, Son, and Holy Ghost. He is my provider, and I believe in something more, but I got a reason to praise him. And I got a reason to praise him. I choose to worship him. Who are you to tell me that I can't dance and I can't shout? There's no need to worry. The world system will work it out, but I got a reason to praise him. And I got a reason to praise him.
Listen, Shay, got plenty of reasons. Because they come a dime a dozen, he died for me, so it's God I'm loving. And it's that Holy Spirit in me that's keeping this whole world buzzing. Believing in the cross life, so it's no more thug. It's living proof in his proof that he raised the dead. Not only that, gave me a spot where I can rest my head. That was healing in the scriptures and it kept me fed. You can believe what you want, my God ain't dead. Let's go.
Who are you to tell me that my kids won't go to church and the streets will get them and strip them from their worth? I got a reason to praise him. Well, I got a reason to praise him. Who are you to tell me that I can't dance and I can't shout? There's no need to worry. The world system will work it out, but I got a reason to praise him. And I got a reason to praise him. We fall down.
Come on, girl.
We get up. In our Lord, God we trust, all our hope, and all our fears. Lord, we're here, draw us near, and I got a reason to praise him, and I can't shout, and I got a reason to praise him. The world system will work it out, and I got a reason to praise him. I choose to worship him, and I got a
Our last and final MVP is Kent Osborne's Prison of Power, whose organization helps reach out to youth detention centers and penitentiaries.
What's up, man?
All right. Yeah,
What's going on, man?
Got a little advice to ask you, man.
Okay, cool.
Got my cousin, you know. He just got out the joint, man. He's been trying his best to go ahead and get a job, but, you know, he's a convicted felon. And you know what I'm talking about? And every time he check mark that convicted felon, he ain't getting no job, man.
I feel you.
So I just need your advice.
I feel you. You know what? That kind of reminds me of homeboy I got, KO. You know, he did the same kind of scenario, man.
Right.
But what he did, man, he took him from prison to power. Check out his video, man.
Right.
The Sentencing Project issued a report that 1 in every 3 black American males born today can expect to go to prison once in his lifetime.
I went from prison to power. I started from nothing. Started say I was not gonna make it. That son counted me out. They did like 1, 2, 3, and now I'm on top. I'm on the whole world of fun. I went from prison to power. I did. I started from nothing. Started from I was not gonna make it. Talk about I ain't gonna make that. Ain't that they counted me out. They did like 1, 2, 3, and now I'm on for the whole world. I was released in 09, and I got straight on the grind. To be a boss, stick off, but I paid it no mind. Hold on, favor, not fair. I never felt cheated. Like Floyd Mayweather. I'm undefeated. Relentless success. I don't dream anymore. I set goals and accomplish whatever God has in store. There's no mountain too tall, or no storm that's too dangerous. So many have tried, but too many can't hang with this. The demons, they tremble from the sound of my voice. In the presence of God, they have no choice. I'm the king, so I reign. I'm bringing the pain. You gon' need oxycodone from this headache you sustain. I went from prison to power. I started from nothing. They say I was not gon' make it. Ain't that so? They counted me out like 1, 2, 3, and now I'm on top for the whole world to see. I went from prison to power. I started from nothing. They say I was not gon' make it. Ain't that so? They counted me out like 1, 2, 3, and now I'm on top for the whole world to see. I wake up in the morning with crust in my eyes. My vision's blurry, but my eyes still on the prize. Thinking about what I went through, the bullcrap they give you when you tryna get a job. They treat you like do because of the blue. I showed them what I was doing. I started a company and nobody had a clue that I was able to do it on my own. I'm a bona fide hustler. It's written in stone because I got felonies. That's why they wouldn't hire me. I'm glad that they didn't. Not no one can fire me. Unexpectedly, I rose to the top. Got my own authority and watch mouth drop. I went from prison to power. I started from nothing. They say I was not gonna make it. Ain't that so? They counted me out like 1, 2, 3, and now I'm on top for the whole world to see. I went from prison to power. I started from nothing. They say I was not gonna make it. Ain't that so? They counted me out like 1, 2, 3, and now I'm on top for the whole world to see.
To all my convicted fellas out there, don't let no one tell you you can't make it. When they tell you you a loser, you show them you a winner. You can do anything you set your mind to. Society won't give you a job, you start your own business. Society won't let you rent a place to live, you buy your own house. All they did was force us to be bosses. Stand up and let's go from prison to power. If I can do it, you can do it. You can do it.
That's all for today. Thank you for tuning in to MVP on Music Vision Television, and a special thank you to all the artists that submitted their music videos.
Cut.
Music Video Profiles. You're watching Music Video Profiles with Skylar on Positive Power XXI Christian Media and Music Vision Television. Get your music video profile right here, worldwide, baby. Right here on Positive Power XXI Music Vision Television with Skylar. Get your music video profile right now on Music Vision Television with Skylar. This is a worldwide broadcast with Positive Power XXI Christian Media and Music Vision Television with Skylar. Music Vision Television with Skylar on Music Profiles. Get it now. This is a Positive Power XXI production.
Crazy.
right, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Jerry Royce Live Worldwide Late Night Radio on Positive Power XXI live stream. That's right, this is a live international stream. Please share this file. We appreciate our listeners. This is Jerry Royce Live Worldwide, aka Batman of Charm City, Minister Radio. Let's stay tuned for a station break, a station identification. Thank you, thank you. God is good. Amen.
Hey family, this is Paula G, and you are watching Music Vision Television right here on PositivePower21.org. Hey family, welcome to my journey. I'm your host for today, Paula G, and with me is the next generation. Jerry Royce Live, aka Batman, the next generation starts right here with this young man right next to me, Mr. Brandon Royce Sampson. Welcome to my journey.
Oh, my pleasure. Thank you for having me.
How are you today?
Blessed and highly favored.
You know how to say blessed and highly favored.
That's it. That's it. That's it. Every day.
Every single day. Every day you wake. I always say that every day you wake up
That's it.
is a blessing.
Absolutely.
You know, it's a blessing, and if we can just wake up and get moving,
yeah,
you know, then we just do whatever it is that God has in store for us to do for that particular day.
That's it.
And today,
yes,
He has in store for us to sit here and have a conversation about who Brandon Royce Sampson is. Who is Brandon Royce Sampson?
You know, it's funny, before I answer that, I told myself I wasn't going to prepare for this interview. I wanted it to be free flowing. You know how sometimes, you know, you have your notes, you go over stuff. So I'm like, I don't know what she's going to ask me. I just want to be in the moment.
But what did I tell you earlier? I said, we're having a conversation, and the rest of the world, y'all just happen to be listening.
Absolutely.
So that's what we're doing.
So who is Brandon Sampson? Royce Sampson is, first and foremost, a humble servant of God.
Yes.
I'm a Christ follower. And I say that first because that informs everything else about me.
Foundation.
It is foundation. That's it. So knowing that I'm a Christ follower, you should expect certain things of me. And that's why I lead with that. That way, you know, people can hold me accountable.
Yeah, that's like, it's almost like you're holding yourself. It's like you're putting it out there and holding yourself accountable by putting it, you know, by putting it out there.
Because once you put it out there, now you're responsible for it.
Exactly, exactly. Before we go there, let's talk a little bit about, because I always say that there's words have power.
They do.
And there is power in a name or names. We've got to be careful what we name our children.
That's it.
So talk to us a little bit about your name, because your name is Legacy.
It is. Yeah, middle name, yes.
Yes, your middle name is Legacy.
Yes, yeah. Royce, I think it goes further back than my grandfather, if I'm not mistaken, but my grandfather's first name is Royce.
Okay.
And then my father's middle name is Royce, and my uncle's middle name is Royce. Okay. And as is mine. So yeah, like you said, Legacy. It's a lot in the name.
Accountability.
Accountability, yes. Yeah, yeah. Responsibility.
Because all the voices that came before, you got to live up to that standard or blueprint of manhood.
Yes, you would definitely want to bring honor to your name, to your bloodline. So yeah, you know, I'm thankful for the vision, I guess, of whoever started it, and then I guess the adherence and respect of tradition of all the following people who kept it going. So, yeah, I'm just blessed and honored, to be here, and I take everything about it seriously. Yes.
I can tell just in a few minutes that we've had to talk that you're a deep thinker.
I try to be.
I think you're a deep thinker. You got some. You have some knowledge and vision and ideas about things that maybe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that maybe people don't always understand.
Oh no, you're right. You hit the nail on the head.
People don't always understand, so sometimes you might hesitate to voice them. Because for lack of a better word, fear that people won't understand.
Yes. The way I look at it is, I try to look at the bigger picture, and so sometimes you have to, and it comes with humility. So you have to think about what's the end game. So if I share this, first of all, who's my audience? How will they receive it? And their reception of it, will it see my vision into fruition? If it's not, it's not worth the time. So you have to be very introspective. You have to be very strategic and methodical. And that's why the foundation of Christ is so important, because all of that, being methodical and strategic, all of that is based in what the end goal is, and that's service to God. So again, that's a very astute observation, and I thank you for noticing that.
So what is one of the things that you maybe sometimes get a little frustrated about in people not understanding what it is that you're trying to share? Like you said, you got to know who your audience is.
Yes.
But by the same token, sometimes your audience is the very audience that you're trying to relay a certain message to, and maybe they're not receiving it. Can you think of something that sometimes you kind of get? Okay, one thing.
No. I said, oh man, because this is so poignant. Because without being too specific about other parties, I had a role where I was over, teenagers. In a ministry position, and I had that battle there. Again, without being too specific, but I'll just share this. Someone. All right, so you had spiritual gifts. You had a vision based on my spiritual gift. Right. I'm a believer in spiritual gifts, and I think it's very important for us to understand what our spiritual gifts are. And then also, when you think about leadership within a church or an organization similar, you like to think that the leadership takes it as seriously, like using gifting. So in other words, you want to have somebody that champions and is a proponent of using people's gifts. Like that's why you put them in a position to use their gifts. So I was put in a position, strict obedience to God. I had discomfort about going into it for various reasons, but again, foundation, obedience to God, service to God. So I did it, and what I wanted to do with it was to look at the way culture is built and how we're so godless as a culture, and how God has been taken out of everything, school, even sometimes church. If you want to believe it or not, we don't have to go there right now.
No, we're going there. We can go there. That's good.
And so being on the front line with the teenagers, knowing what they deal with, and knowing like actual statistics on when teenagers leave the faith and when teenagers start to be bombarded with other worldviews, theologically speaking. So in other words, I am attuned to that kind of stuff. And so I had visions in place to address it directly. And leadership, they wanted to be more sanitized, more charismatic in their approach. We just want to uplift people and encourage them, and in my estimation, fill seats for whatever reason. And so having that battle, knowing that in my position I couldn't do all that I wanted to, I resigned, knowing that the relationships that I built with the teenagers, that I could assume them and grow them outside of that position, because it's only a title, but my relationships,
like that. It's only a title.
My relationships are what matter. They're meaningful, and they have grown after my resignation. So again, very astute observations, and thank you for allow me to share
I like what you said. I was letting you finish, but
Yes,
I
ma'am.
like what you said about knowing when teens start to steer away from the church. Because
Yes.
it sounds like, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yes.
sounds like you have the understanding, okay, at a certain point, generally speaking,
Yes.
the teens start to steer away.
Yes.
And at that point, I have a strategy.
Yes.
Oh, that's deep.
Absolutely.
That is deep.
Because, again, if you think about it, even in school, what they call science, and it is science based,
Right.
but they speak on evolution, or sometimes I've even heard of atheism being taught in schools. So that's a worldview which shouldn't be taught because they took God out. We can't talk about Christianity
So
because it's
basically,
offensive.
we're teaching atheism.
We're teaching atheism, packaged as something maybe like evolution, or
Right.
I don't even know what another word for it would be. But
Wait, stop right there.
yes,
You just, that's a thought. Since
Yes.
we took God,
yes,
go and fluff.
absolutely. They're impressionable, and I know this is a time in their life, based on brain development, the research that I've done.
Yeah, well, I love it.
That stuff penetrates